Who is Christina Hooper? What do you do? What was the first spark, the catalyst that led you to become an entrepreneur? So how did you move from being in corporate America to being an entrepreneur? Welcome to the JOD Pod, a micro podcast where we interview CEOs, entrepreneurs, authors, coaches, and founders. Today, we are very lucky to be joined by Christina Hooper, the founder of Sparkitive.com and Content Ninjas. Christina, great having you on the JOD Pod today.
Yeah, happy to be here.
So for those of us who don't know who you are, who is Christina Hooper? What do you do?
On multiple different businesses, but all of them are focused around helping entrepreneurs that can't take a week off without checking their emails, checking their messages, checking in with their teams. Like if you can't unplug and step away for a whole week, there's probably something we do to help.
That's wonderful. I'm not sure if I'm in the same position or not. Could I step away for a week? I don't know. But I'm sure there's people out there that are listening in that probably struggle to step away from their computers, let alone their phones, for weeks at a time. So I'm sure there's some pearls of wisdom that you can share with them. What are you, as an entrepreneur? We were speaking just before we hit record that you seem to be doing a lot of different things. What was the first spark, the catalyst that led you to become an entrepreneur?
Working in corporate America, sitting in the cubicles day in and day out, and then realizing that it didn't matter how many hours I put in, watching the guys that were there until they're 60s and 70 years old being phased out. And it's like, you put in all that time and that's as good as it gets, is to get phased out because you can't learn the new stuff fast enough. Like that wasn't what I wanted for my life. I wanted to have more control over my future. And if I'm going to work that hard, it should be worth it in the end, Not limited potential, maximum earning potential, because I cap all of your jobs at different wages, and like there's only so much you'll ever make in that role, and that limits your entire future. I wanted more than that, so that was kind of the spark that was like, I'm going to do more than this.
And how did that happen then? So how did you move from being in corporate America to being an entrepreneur?
I just started doing stuff that was fun on the side. Started in kind of graphics design, doing logos and stuff like that. Taught myself how to do a lot of that, doing freelance gigs. Ran across this one little lady that had her online store, and the guy was just taking her for a ride. It was $40,000 in. 5 years later, the store couldn't even take an order. And I was like, that's ridiculous. And I was a computer programmer. Like, how hard can it be to build an e-store? So built my first one on ZenCart about 15 years ago, and just no looking back. It was $500, had it done in a day, and the whole thing worked like she needed it to. And it was like, I can do this for more people. I can help people that need help. And just didn't look back, kept going from there, expanding what I can do, expanding what I know, and running with it.
Was that your first customer, the little old lady with the e-store? Wow. And how did you find her then as a...
She found me on one of the freelance sites. She needed a graphics designer. She was doing photo books, back in the day before we could have, photos on our phones and upload them to digital albums all the time. You would take your old school photos and send them to her, and she would print out these beautiful layouts for printed photo books. And I was designing the layouts that she could plug the photos into to do the printing. And we were just talking about everything that she was going through with her, web designer that would hop on a plane. And if she got the guy on the plane that would come see her, it was $150 an hour. And if she got his underling, it was $75 an hour. And she had no control over it. And she was just crying and frustrated because her store didn't work. And she was like 4 kids and a single mom. And, $40,000 in 15 years ago. It's a big investment now, but 15 years ago. And the site didn't even work. It's just crazy.
I think that's such an interesting story for anybody that's listening that wants to, do their own thing or start doing their own thing. Is, you can start by doing little things to begin with as a freelancer, just to, as a side hustle, like just to keep some pennies coming through. But then with those customers, don't just think that's the level, build a relationship with them, figure out what's working and what's not working in their business. And you never know that there might be a solution that you can offer that, brings that relationship up and lets you turn that into a business 15 years later.
Yeah, that's some of the advice I give every business owner I ever work with. It's like, start with what's your superpower, and then who do you like to work with? Like, if you worked with this one person all day, every day, Would they make you happy? If you get those two things right, the services you offer invent
Yeah.
themselves. And you're going to be future proof, because when things change, you're working with people you love working for. You have a passion to help them. When the world turns up on its head, you're right there. You know what to do. You can tweak your services. You can add new people to your staff. You can go learn new things. As long as you're working with the people that you like and you're within your superpowers, it's going to work. It just does
And
every
that
time.
like works both ways, because if you like the person that you're working for, working with, partnering with, whatever the terminology is, you'll make sure that you're doing a good job for them, and they'll respect that, and they'll, that partnership will work. If it's purely commercial, that's no good for anybody, because it's just like lowest common denominator, lowest price wins, whereas the relationships is what count, and it can be so much fun.
Definitely. I mean, I think it was the most freeing thing about 7 years ago. That light bulb really clicked for me, that's what you got to do if you want to succeed. We fired about 30 clients over the course of a couple of months. We fired them all. It's like, I sat down with my staff and I was like, who do we not like and why do we not like them? And who do we like and why do we like them? And we started looking at, hey, we're getting really good results for the ones that we like. Like they're the ones that are succeeding where all these other people aren't, and it's like, let's just cut the cord. So we moved them all to different companies that they matched better with, and just walked away from like 30 clients. And then we made the move at the end of before COVID, shut down our physical office space, went fully remote, started realizing we could serve people better that way. It just works. You start making better business decisions when you're focused on who you can help and the best way to serve them.
That's such a lovely sentiment. Like, we've sacked a few clients, not that many, all in one go, but I bet it must be so freeing, and you feel like you can sleep better. That's the main thing, I think. You don't.
And it frees up your time. It's like when you start really looking at it, the clients that you don't like are the ones you're having to spend the most time on. It's the ones that are sucking up more of your day. So when you can let them go and put more effort into the ones you like, they start getting even better results. They're enjoying it. So, we sacked 30 clients, but we actually grew pretty quickly right after that. Because, the existing clients were investing more money with us, which was great. They were referring us to more people because they were having a better experience. They weren't getting left to the wayside while we dealt with the bad clients. And we grew after sacking 30 clients, which is crazy, but it's just how it works.
I can see the tagline for the podcast already, Christina. That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing. So tell me, what are you working on now? Where's your main focus?
Right now we're in the process of getting ETA, Entrepreneurs Taking Action, off the ground. So it's designed to be coaching, accountability, and just really give you access to a bunch of experts in a short time frame. Because what you really need is, businesses will either invest time to save money or invest money to save time. So inside of ETA, you've kind of got both happening. You can do the free trainings with our experts in our free Facebook group. You can be in the membership area and still have access to all the experts doing trainings all the time. And if you can implement that stuff on your own, it's great. They're giving you all the resources, but all of our experts also are coming with accelerator offers. So discounted rapid fire packages to let you take advantage of their expertise and kickstart it in your business, which I think is really, really, really helpful. So there's some things you just don't need to do yourself. You need to outsource. And you need to be knowledgeable enough about it to work with the expert to give them what they need. So that's kind of the focus with ETA, is to give all that to everybody.
And why do you think that's so relevant to people now?
Oh man, right now, especially since COVID, all of the experts have taken to going online, and they're teaching and they're training and they're creating courses. And what I see time and time and time again is we're paying for these things. We're sitting on these things. We're sitting with the Pedro Adeos, the Ryan Dices, the Donald Millers of the world. And we're absorbing all this great information. And you come off of their events and their trainings, you're just like, oh, this is what I need. This is exactly the thing that's going to take my business where I need to go. And then you sit down at your computer and now you're like, crap, what do I do? What's my first step? How do I actually implement it? Or holy crap, I have to learn something like ClickFunnels. Like if you're watching Pedro stuff and you're like, I'm going to run a challenge. And it seems so easy. And Pedro's like, you just need these few things. But now you need marketing automation tools. You need landing page builder funnels. You need SMS marketing. You need like all this stuff that you didn't realize you needed, and you get paralyzed. You're just like, I don't know where to start, and you have to become an expert at 50 different things that you don't need to know to actually grow your business. You just need to know the right person to talk to that can answer questions. Like, it has been a lifesaver for me. My entire business, I've avoided so many potholes and issues because I've known who to reach out to. I've always networked. I've always built, a library of people that it's like, if I need something, I can send an email, hop on a call with somebody for 30 minutes and solve a problem. And right now, after COVID, with all these online trainings, I mean, people are just inundated with so many shiny objects and they're trying to chase them all. And the execution fails every time.
I think we've all been there. Shiny object syndrome is such a terrible affliction to us entrepreneurs. When we're trying to build things or trying things out. But I think what you said there was really interesting. It's knowing the person to ask and knowing what question to ask them as well to help you get over that little bump in the road that you've just encountered. Having a network, having a strong network, or having a place to go to where you know that there's those kind of experts that you can maybe ask the question, and maybe if they don't know the answer, they at least know the person to ask the right question to. I think is really really key. So is that like an online portal and a Facebook group?
Yep. So on the free side of things, it's just the Facebook group. But then when you become a member, which right now it's free to join as a member because we're launching, it's free through the end of July. But after that, it's only going to be $47 a month, so it's really affordable. And then you get into our Circle community, so the private members community over there, where we're sharing different tools. All the experts have a profile. All of their accelerator offers are available. So, I mean, you pretty much know every expert in there. Some of those experts are unattainable when you go to other things. Like, you can watch Pedro teach something. You're not going to get an hour with Pedro. It's just not going to happen, right? All of our experts have at least like a 1 hour offer. So you can pay them for an hour of their time and just ask questions. So you don't have to worry about, like, oh, I feel like I'm going to pester them, or I'm afraid I'm going to bug them, or I'm afraid, like, their time is so valuable and they know what they're doing. They all make themselves accessible. So it's just a really great community where you don't have to feel bad. It's like book their time for like $97, spend an hour with them, solve the problem, get pointed the right direction. I mean, I've seen people that have been paralyzed for months. Like, they'll be 6 months trying to build a landing page and a little funnel, or 6 months trying to get their website rebuilt. It's like, just bust through that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing that with this podcast. Like, I am pushing hard to get things out. Is it going to be the most polished thing you've ever seen? No, but it's just getting through things. And once you iterate enough times, then you can then polish and fix things and tighten things up and sort out the lighting and all that kind of jazz. When you've done 100 iterations of something, or when you're at that kind of level, but otherwise get things done, get things out, and if you've got an expert that can point you in the right direction, even better. We'll put a link to that in the show notes as well. So for anybody that's stuck as an entrepreneur or is thinking about making that move into entrepreneurship and wants to get into a network, a community where those kind of conversations are happening, that sounds like a fantastic opportunity. I don't think we're going to get this podcast out before July, so I think you'll be paying the monthly subscription if you're making that. But that's a small amount to pay to level up your life in entrepreneurial terms. Really interesting. Thanks, Christina. Are you ready for some quick fire questions?
Yep, let's go for it.
Awesome. So, what's your most used app or SaaS product at the moment?
Oh, well, that's a fun one. Probably WordPress with Thrive Themes. I use it for everything. If you're familiar with WordPress at all, a lot of people have used things like Elementor as website builders and WYSIWYG builders, and there's all these different add-ons. Thrive changes the game. I started using them about 6 years ago. I've been on their alpha and beta squads for testing new products. I'm constantly utilizing everything they have. But it's conversion-focused website tools. So you can build your website with it in a WYSIWYG way. It's got a new theme builder that's amazing. But you've got things like Thrive Leads, you've got Thrive Quiz Builder, you've got Thrive Apprentice to build online courses. Like, there's literally a Thrive tool for pretty much anything you would need to do inside of WordPress. So I use it for every one of my sites. I constantly am building sites for clients with it, building landing pages, building funnels. Like, it's a game changer.
What's your most recommended book, Christina?
Marketing Made Simple by Donald Miller. So you kind of have to read Building a Story Brand to get the idea of how to use it. So you kind of need that first. But Marketing Made Simple is literally my go-to. I have a cheat sheet for some of the chapters like taped to my monitor because it tells you exactly how to build landing pages, conversion focused pages, website home pages. Like his little framework is just, it's a reference I use all the time. It's the execution over the theory. So I love execution focused tools.
We'll put a link to that in the show notes down below so people can check that out. Who's your favorite YouTuber or podcaster, Christina?
Oh man. I like a lot of the stuff that Donald Miller does. It's got a really good focus to it. There's a podcast by Impact that I really like. I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. Playing with a lot of that. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. I have trouble without the video. I like the video, but I'm a visual learner, so I'm playing around with podcasts.
Who's an up-and-comer in your industry? Someone that you think that might be a future Huffington, Bezos, or Musk?
Oh man, I don't know how much up and comer, but I've been really enjoying Qasim Islam right now. Like he's absolutely fantastic. He's my coach at Digital Marketer. I'm on the Digital Marketer Elite program. He's my coach there. My son wants to be him when he grows up, basically. So my son's gotten involved with my business over the last few months. And he's been kind of stalking him and getting into the paid ad world, and he just loves Qasim's personality. And when you go to his website, it's like literally Qasim, it rhymes with awesome. Like he's so much fun, and he's just so knowledgeable and has some of the best trainings on ads that I have ever seen. Like he runs the ads for Pedro the Challenge King, and he's got some trainings in that challenge stuff that Pedro does. It's just some of the best stuff I've ever seen, taking such complicated concepts and breaking them down. I know he's kind of been around for a little while. He's got some awards and things like that, but he's like one of the best, most knowledgeable people that I've seen that I hadn't heard of until like a year ago.
And where's the best place for people to interact with you online, Christina?
On my website, ChristinaHooper.com. So I've got links to everything that I do on there. If I'm at events or anything, it's usually on there.
Wonderful. Thanks, Christina. There we have it. Christina Hooper, the founder of Content Ninjas and Sparkitive, and also now Entrepreneurs Taking Action Today. Content Ninjas is a content studio for agencies that sells results to clients. Sparkitive is a get stuff done shop for small business owners. And ETA Today is a space for entrepreneurs that want to take action. Christina got her first customer by helping an e-store owner that was paying through the nose for her website delivery, and she was delivering freelance work that she'd delivered via a freelance website, and she just talked through some pains and some issues that the customer was taking, and there was managed to deliver a solution there. And I think a great lesson for anybody that's looking to get into entrepreneurship. Christina's favorite app is WordPress with Thrive Themes, the conversion-focused website builder. She loves reading Marketing Made Simple by Donald Miller, and even has some of her notes pinned up to her monitor that she uses every single day. We should be keeping an eye on Kazlam Aslam for training on ads, and you can contact Christina by heading to her own website. That's ChristinaHooper.com, ChristinaHooper.com, and also check out Entrepreneur Taking Action website. That's etatoday.zone. We'll put the links to all of this in the show notes below. But Christina, thank you for joining us today on the JOD Pod.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us today on the JOD Pod. If you've enjoyed this interview with Christina and don't want to miss out on any of our future interviews, please play the YouTube game. Hit subscribe, hit the thumbie uppy button, and hit the bell. That'll let you know when we upload a new video. And if you've got a question about marketing, about website development, about digital marketing, getting things done, drop a question below in the comments. I will bully Christina to come back and answer every single one of them. Please be inspired by what Christina's spoken about today, about getting out of corporate America and building a business for herself. Go and build something for yourself today. Go and inspire the next generation. Thanks for joining us today on the JOD Pod. If you enjoyed this interview, why don't you check out some of these other interviews that we've done on the JOD Pod. more inspirational CEOs, coaches, entrepreneurs, founders, and authors. I'm sure there's something here that will inspire you to build something new.